Hello and good evening. I'm so glad that you've joined us tonight for A Seat at the Table, Central Union Mission's virtual event to celebrate what God is doing here at the Mission as well as Thanksgiving. I'm so encouraged that you're here tonight because, like most folks, we're not going to be able to celebrate Thanksgiving the way that we usually would. But here at the Mission, we want to make sure that every person at our shelter, every person that comes to our food pantry is still being blessed by your generosity. And as you can see at this table, we're going to be providing some delicious food to the folks that we serve to give them encouragement, to give them hope to make it through the holidays. So for that reason, we're glad that you've joined us tonight, and I hope you enjoy the program.
My name is Mohammed Hussein. I grew up as an Indian family, as a Muslim. So I never have experience as a homeless. So my doctor sent me to Central Union Mission. After that, actually, I met one person there. He's involved with RTP program, the man ministry. So he involved me with the man ministry. Something happened to me magical, like I cannot explain. So I became surrender like Christ. I needed Christ in my life to get peace, first thing first. So I surrendered my life. Since then, mission helped me to understand what my purpose of life, hope, and day by day I grow with that faith. Only through Christ I can moving forward. Central Union Mission give me life skill. They treat me as a superhuman being. I never had love, true love, even though I have problem with my family, but I never been in people have so much care about even that they don't know me.
Last year, around this time, I was in New York City and I was living a very transient lifestyle, and I was on the street and using substances and alcohol, abusing them. For about 3 years, I was on a very downward spiral, and I just rededicated my life to God, and I asked Him to get me out of New York. I finally decided that I needed a different change of pace and a different area. I just randomly picked DC, or at least I thought I did. And so when I got off the bus, I needed to eat. I hadn't eaten in a while. I asked somebody, where can I get something to eat? And they said there's a shelter down the block from Union Station. And so I went there, and once I saw that people cared at the Mission, it really broke me down and humbled me, and I told myself, these people are gonna help me, so I'm gonna give them all of what I have, and then I know God is gonna move through them. I didn't know how, but I just had that faith.
I was on my way to another program, and I had been trying to find a program that is a spiritual program, which at that time I didn't know one existed. And someone says, there's Central Union Mission right there. So I went ahead and I signed up, not really knowing what I signed up for. About 8 days later, after a few devotional services and a few chapel services, I gave my life to Christ. And I think that's when it all started for me. I got to understand what it's really like to have a relationship with Christ. And I think this is the first organization that I was a part of that had Jesus at the top, that I really was devoted to. I've been to other organizations, but this is the first one where I got to really live a Christian life. If somebody had told me a place like Central Union Mission existed, I would have gladly joined years and years ago. I'm very thankful, and I'm very thankful for the donors, especially people that they don't get to see all the work that goes into watching a person go through change. And they don't get to see the results of that change oftentimes. But I'm here to let you know that this program really works.
A good friend of me had lived in the neighborhood where Central Union Mission was. She didn't know a great deal about it, but she said that she'd heard good things about it, and that I might want to find out about it if things got really tough. They finally got tough enough to where I came to the mission, and it's remarkable. From the very day that I came there, the person I met at the door, I don't know why, but her voice, just the way she treated me, it calmed me down. And over the next few months, it was like I got this incredible experience to find out what true Christian kindness is all about.
Actually, I grew up, I love Christmas, but I never fully experienced Thanksgiving until last year, the Centurion Mission. That was best day in my life so far. That was such a good experience and such joyful. I had super joy. I can't explain. Honestly, it just something overwhelmed me.
It was like a family kind of feel, even though I didn't have my family there. I was grateful that I had somebody to share it with.
We got to see, I guess what you would call typical Christians walking around inside of our environment where some of us have been homeless for quite some time. And just the idea that a man and a wife and his kids, and they're coming here and they don't have to come is very powerful. And it's a really good example. Thanksgiving, it made me realize too that Thanksgiving isn't just about the food. It's about giving. It's about learning how to receive too, because some of us are too proud to. Some of us are too proud to receive some of the gifts that are given to us. We didn't know they were there. We didn't know they were available for whatever reason, however we grew up. And Central Union Mission doesn't make fun of anybody. And they let us, come in on our own terms. So no matter where we are, spiritually, they can pick that up and they can move forward with it.
I know how difficult as being homeless to have a proper meal, and a part of it is it's huge honor for me to be part of that meal, because I know when I was hungry, I had nobody to feed me, but Centurion Mission there for me to feed me, provide me what I need. So it's great honor me to be part of that dinner with other peoples, which I can share my experience through Centurion Mission, what they do for me.
It's hard to trust coming from the backgrounds that many of us have experienced, and to know and to experience in real time that somebody actually wants to see you succeed helps a lot. So when we see that kind of reciprocity, we'll give our all as well.
It renews your faith in what you're part of. It's a wonderful Christian fellowship. Just to be part of the whole thing, but it renews your faith, your confidence. I can have a seat at the table. I'm part of a community. I'm part of the world around me, and it can really add to a guy's confidence. Very much so.
Everyone deserves a seat at the table.
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 My name is Tammy, and I'm a volunteer with Central Union Mission.
My name is Janelle Garrett, and I am a frequent volunteer with the mission.
My name is Kyle Moore, and I am a volunteer with the mission.
My name is Nikisha Roche, and I've been volunteering here at Central Union Mission since 2008.
My involvement with Central Union Mission began actually with my employer. I'm blessed enough to work for an employer that allows a half day of work per year to go out and give direct service to the community. My employer is just a few blocks from Central Union Mission. My colleague at work had organized us to do a lunch service at the mission. So I just went along with her about 2 or 3 years ago. We served lunch at the mission, and I've kind of been hooked into volunteering for the mission since then.
I actually learned about the mission from Kyle. He was actually pretty involved, both as a volunteer and a donor with the company that we work for. And he brought me in on a volunteer activity that he had sort of put together, and it went from there. It's just a really great experience, and I love the mission and story of the mission.
And I was led to get involved with the mission. For one, it's in my neighborhood, so I live not too far from the mission, and in my mind, it's extremely important to make sure that we're doing really good work in the neighborhoods and communities that we live in. I also started to work on some engagement with colleagues at my company to support the mission, and so that's where the work began for me.
It all started with me looking for a local organization for both me and my family to contribute to. And after I did that search, I saw the great work that Central Union Mission was doing, and we were drawn in by that.
I love how the mission's accessible. There's multiple ways you can give. If I could give from my wallet, one paycheck, I'll do that. But if you have certain skills and you can provide that, the mission allows that. They provide space for if you have skills that they need. So I've done event planning with them. I've been on their committees before to do Heart and Soul in 2019. So I use that as an example, not to brag about what I did, but just about the accessibility of meeting the needs in the community. It's a little easier than some people might think. It's easy to volunteer.
The more time I spend at the mission and with a lot of the men that, live at the mission and receive a lot of the services, their stories are so moving. And I think one of the things that really speaks to me is how, the story of how God's love and, Christ sort of abiding in them has really changed them from the inside out.
The ability for me to be able to take a little bit of time here and there to make positive impact in the lives of other people, how can I not do it?
Mm-hmm. Especially as you think about a city like Washington, D.C., which is essentially the seat of power for our country. And we have such a tremendous, problem of homelessness here, and just not having adequate resources for the people who really need them. And I think the more that we can spend, doing something to address that problem is just so important for anybody that's a resident of the area. And the mission touches so many different facets of the population, right? They touch women and families. They have men's shelters. They provide all these different services. And it's like, they don't want to leave anybody out, right? And there's something about that really, again, speaks very closely to all of us who volunteer.
And in addition to that, I think that, the mission provides tools and resources to the folks who attend to make sure that they have exactly what they need to be on the journey for the next chapter of their lives. And so I can certainly appreciate the fact that it's not just a matter of come here, we have something for you, but we want to give you the necessary tools and resources to really be on a path for success.
I know that my purpose here on earth is greater than me, and God has called us all to be disciples of the people of this world. So, the harvest is great, but He needs the laborers to take position. And I believe this is the prime location to do that. People are searching for hope. They're searching for answers. And here at Central Union Mission, they provide that hope. They provide those answers, and they provide that transformation that everyone's looking for.
My name is Tammy, and everyone deserves a seat at the table.
Everyone deserves a seat at the table.
Everyone deserves a seat at the table.
Hi, I'm Judy Woodruff of the PBS NewsHour, and I am so glad to add my voice to that of the many others who celebrate the work of Central Union Mission, especially at this time of year. 2020 has been tough for all of us, but especially for those who don't have enough to eat, a place to call home, or much of what the rest of us take for granted. Because of the pandemic, more people have lost jobs and aren't able to feed and take care of their families. Central Union Mission is always there for them. It deserves our support and appreciation.
I can't even imagine the stress and how hard it is to deal with homelessness during a time like this. And so because of that, I think the need was clear to provide something, to engage in some way, to dedicate a portion of our now empty days to helping people whose lives have just been made so much harder.
We started baking about 200 treats, like once or twice a week in the beginning. It was a lot. It was very difficult, but I think it really made an impact. It's definitely something I will never forget doing.
And so that's really why I took a seat at the table. I think I couldn't really just sit and do nothing while all of this was happening. And I'm really, really glad that we found a way to be helpful and to provide happiness and through Della's delicious treats. So that's why I took a seat at the table.
One of the things I like about the idea of a seat at the table is that really it's the idea that we're all at the same table together, right? As I think you said, Deborah. I mean, it is one communal table. It just felt like we were sharing food. Obviously, we couldn't be eating at the same table, but it just got close to that feeling sometimes that Della would love her Oreo cupcakes. And then we think, oh, that's great, because that's what they love too. And it just felt, it felt that we were really connecting in a way that was especially hard during the pandemic.
If anyone, you find yourself having extra time on your hands, just get helping in any way that you can. Find free time and just do it. And you will feel so much better about yourself and about your community, because right, we're all in this together, and if we don't think of this like we're all part of the same community, then our community is going to fall apart.
My children and my wife said it really well, so what I like about hearing them speak is just the recognition that in this time in particular, it's important to remember that the folks who are the most stressed and most at risk in many ways are the ones who are already facing challenges and struggles. And with lockdowns and people not moving around the city, it can be very easy to have a situation where out of sight is out of mind, and to forget how there are people very much in need, more so than ever because of the pandemic. It's a way of giving back when you have something to give, and feeling that connection, I think, also is a reminder that one day you may need help, and you'll need your community to come help you.
Thanksgiving is a time for family to come together. My seat at the table as a mission supporter is really evolved around family, the family that Central Union Mission has made and made me a part of. Contributing annually with a charity suit drive is just one way that I can give back, but there's other ways that other people can give back as well. Central Union Mission is really great at diversifying the engagement opportunities. I've continued to be impressed by the collateral they put out, and the information that they share with their donors.
The thing that has moved me the most about the ministry, I think, is seeing not only the dedication of our staff who love on these people that are hurting and homeless and in need, and how they have been able to individually, case by case, see lives changed, not only by the love of Christ that they demonstrate, but really, really taking people that are broken and have had really tough times, be given an opportunity to thrive again in this world and to be shown respect and esteem. Everybody deserves a seat at the table, and it's important to gather and to be together, because I think that's how God would want us to celebrate that.
Hi, my name is Chris Fry. I'm mayor of the city of Newcastle, Pennsylvania. I want to invite you to come and take a seat at the table with Central Union Mission. I'm a product of Central Union Mission's Camp Bennett, and for 4 years I served there as a senior camp counselor, watching how Central Union Mission and their values and their mission changed the lives of children and adults throughout the DC metro area.
You know, so often it seems there's nothing that we can really do to make the world a better place. But the truth is, there's so many small things that we can do to make change for the better, such as becoming involved with Central Union Mission as a volunteer or in any other way that you can. It's really just a great way to make change.
So I've worked with the Central Union Mission for about 5 years now. I started off at Heart and Soul, which is a very awesome event that they have every year that's hosted by Rock Harper. But also at the same time, kind of got a little bit more involved, going in, cooking on special nights, providing meals for some guests. Me and a couple of chef friends would actually get together and go over there and do fish fries and things like that. And, for us, it became, a part of our yearly things that we always needed to do. I know right now it's kind of tough during this pandemic to kind of get out and participate. But I think what's most important is that, you engage with the mission in some kind of way to show these folks, that there's somebody there and that somebody cares. So what we have here is a little bit of vegetables, little broccolini, some carrots, a little bit of a house jerk seasoning that we ferment for about 21 days. So we actually get, the Scotch bonnet. We char those down with a bunch of onions, allspice, cinnamon, and we make our own jerk seasoning. And we let it sit for about like 21 days before we use it. So what we'll do is we'll end up throwing that on the grill pretty soon. So we kind of pulled everything off the grill. We'll go ahead and plate things up, but super simple meal. A lot of the times when I put together a lot of meals and cook for people, I kind of understand that more about how food is ministry, right? You put something on a plate that's so comforting, but at the same time, able to provide hope in a sense, With all the craziness that we have going on now, it's like I've seen a lot of my refuge kind of going towards meals, but also having meals with my family because I'm around them, a lot more. And all we could kind of look at these times is just for hope. And what we want to do, especially, in benefit with Central Union Mission, is hopefully provide additional hope for those folks that do feel down and out and that could really use it, especially during these trying times. So that's why it's important to kind of be active and to also think about those folks during these Thanksgiving seasons. It's extremely important.
I hope that a lot of people watching this are involved in some form or fashion, but steadiness and faithfulness makes a huge difference in supporting the mission and ministry. And also, what Central Union Mission does speaks to really who we are as a city, as a community. Everyone knows the big things that happen in DC, but what happens when you're older and don't have a big community around you and need companionship? If you've lost your job and you're at a point where you have to choose between rent and food, who can step in and be a neighbor, be a family, be a community there? Central Union Mission does that, and they do it every day. So being involved, helping out is important. The big events are huge, and a nice Thanksgiving meal is something that everyone appreciates, everyone remembers. But every single day, staying involved, I think, is really important, and it really improves who we are as a community in DC and shows who we are as a body of Christ in serving our neighbors and who God is who sent us out to do all of that. So that's what I think is important in why to be involved and why to stay involved in Central Union Missions work.
In DC, I run into homeless people almost every day. I'm downtown, and I want to do more. You know, you see somebody that's asking for a handout for food or something, and I would give them a $5 McDonald's card, but I always felt like this is not enough. You're not helping somebody. It might help them, you know, for a couple of hours, but you want to help them much more, and you want to help them get out of their homeless situation. You want to help them develop to where they can have their own home and take care of themselves, and you want to help them spiritually as well. In Central Union Mission, more so than any of the other centers for homeless, I think helps people spiritually as well as giving them a meal. It helps change their lives for eternity. And I think that's just such a valuable thing. It gives people hope and gives them assurance of where they're going, and it improves their mental status. If you know you're going to heaven, you know you're not going to be quite so worried about some of the challenges that you're facing today. But Central Union Mission helps people today, and it helps them for eternity, and that's a great combination. No one should be hungry and homeless this Thanksgiving, and Central Union Mission helps solve that.
Central Union Mission, like Heritage, has a long history here in the nation's capital, and we are very impressed with the history of the mission's work serving the local community, particularly the homeless program. And when we evaluated this partnership and presented it to our staff, we received overwhelming support from the individuals that work at the Heritage Foundation. For many of them have contributed individually to the mission's work for years. And they were thrilled to see that corporately that we had chosen the mission to partner with in terms of our corporate outreach programs. The Heritage Foundation chose to be involved with Central Union Mission because of its deep roots in the local community where we are based as an organization. We're located on Capitol Hill. Central Union Mission is located just a few blocks away from us. We have a long history of supporting the local community, as does the mission. And we are drawn to Central Union Mission because of how they're funded, because of their focus. And when we announced this partnership to our staff, we received overwhelming feedback because many of our employees have given to Central Union Mission for years, and they were thrilled that the Heritage Foundation was partnering with Central Union Mission at a corporate level. This fall, during the COVID pandemic, there's many groups that need support right now. The Central Union Mission has been there in our community and supporting many families and men that need our support the most. As you have options right now to support good causes, the Central Union Mission does not take any government money. They are privately funded and rely on the planned giving of their partners, friends, and family. So this time of year, please give to the mission, give to the men in need, give to our local community. They know how to do it. Trust them, and thank you.
I hope you're encouraged by everything that you're learning tonight about Central Union Mission. And if you are, and if God is speaking to your heart, I want to ask you to act on that right now. Don't hesitate. Join us in partnership by giving a generous gift tonight. Your generosity is what helps Central Union Mission to serve the poor throughout the city 365 days of the year. So I just want to encourage you right now to go online and make a gift and join us in this journey. Thank you.